She asked me to help with her armor, but didn't expect my touch to make her shiver. Elias had worked on many strange machines in his life, but the armor in front of him did not look like a machine at all. It looked alive. The plates were dark silver and deep blue, shaped in smooth curves instead of sharp edges. Thin lines of soft light ran between them, pulsing slowly, like breathing. The armor stood upright on a support frame inside a quiet chamber of the alien ship. The air smelled clean and faintly sweet, nothing like metal or oil. Elias stood still, hands behind his back, reminding himself to stay calm. He was only here to help. "Proceed," said a calm voice behind him. Elias turned. Valeth stood near the doorway. She was taller than most humans, her posture straight and controlled. Her skin was pale with a faint shimmer, almost like light reflected through glass. Her eyes were large and dark, watching him carefully. She wore part of her armor already, shoulder plates, arm guards, and the chest frame, but several pieces rested unfinished on the stand. Elias nodded politely. "You said the armor isn't aligning correctly?" "Yes. It no longer responds as it should. You were recommended." That alone made Elias nervous. Humans were new allies, barely trusted. Being recommended by alien engineers usually meant no one else could fix it. "I'll do my best," he said. Valeth stepped closer to the armor stand. "Understand this, human. This armor is not clothing. It is personal."
Elias paused. "I understand."
"I won't touch anything without permission." She studied him for a long moment, then gave a short nod. "Begin." Elias activated his wrist scanner. A soft blue screen appeared, showing alignment data. At first glance, everything looked correct, but then he noticed it. A slight delay, microseconds only, but enough to cause discomfort for someone who wore the armor daily. "The chest frame is lagging," Elias said. "It's not syncing smoothly with the shoulder plates." Valeth's eyes narrowed slightly. "That should be impossible." "Usually is," Elias replied gently. "But systems change. Even good ones." He stepped closer to the armor stand, careful not to touch it yet. He leaned in, scanning the inner joints. The light lines flickered faintly as if reacting to his presence. "That's strange," he muttered. "What is it?" Valeth asked. "The material reacts to biosignals," Elias said. "It's more sensitive than I expected." "That is normal," she replied. "The armor responds to my nervous system?" Elias nodded. "Right, but it might be overcorrecting. Like it's listening too hard." She tilted her head. "Explain." "Imagine someone trying to hear a whisper," Elias said. "If they turn the volume too high, the sound becomes noise." Valeth considered this. "You may continue." Elias took a breath. "I need to manually steady one of the plates, just for a second." There was a pause. Then Valeth said, "You may touch the armor. Only the armor." "Understood." Elias reached out slowly. He placed his bare hand against the edge of the chest frame, applying gentle pressure, just enough to hold it in place while the system recalibrated. The moment his skin made contact, Valeth inhaled sharply. Her fingers twitched. A sudden ripple passed through the armor lights, brightening all at once. Elias froze. Did I do something wrong?" Valeth did not answer immediately. Her breathing was uneven now, shallow and quick. One knee bent slightly as if she had lost balance. "Officer?" Elias asked, pulling his hand away. The lights dimmed again. Valeth straightened at once, her face controlled, her posture rigid. "You are to remain where you are," she said firmly. Elias raised both hands. didn't mean to. Silence, she said. Though her voice lacked anger, it sounded shaken. She turned away from him, placing one hand against the wall as if grounding herself. The armor lights flickered again, softer this time. That reaction, she said slowly, was unexpected. Elias swallowed. Did I hurt you? No, she said. No, but something occurred. She turned back to face him. Her eyes searched his face, not with suspicion, but confusion. What did you do? She asked. I just held the plate steady, Elias said. No tools, no signal input.
Just my hand. Valeth looked down at the armor.
That should not have caused a neurological response. Elias hesitated. Maybe human skin temperature? Or pressure patterns? Her gaze snapped back to him. Explain. Humans use touch a lot, Elias said carefully. For work, for comfort. Our hands are expressive, I guess. Valeth said nothing. She stepped closer to the armor stand again. Slower this time. Repeat the action, she said. Elias blinked. Are you sure? Yes. He hesitated, then moved forward. This time he rested only 2 fingers against the armor, barely touching. The reaction was immediate. Valeth's shoulders tensed. A visible shiver ran through her body, subtle but unmistakable. Her breath caught again, and the armor lights brightened in soft waves. Not chaotic, but responsive. Elias pulled back instantly. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Enough, Valeth said quietly. She closed her eyes for a moment, steadying herself. When she opened them again, something had changed. Not fear. Curiosity. You were unaware, she said. Yes, Elias replied quickly. Completely. She nodded once. That is, black quiet, black quiet, black quiet, black quiet. Evident. She turned toward the chamber door and spoke into a communicator. Request medical analysis. Non-emergency. Then she looked back at Elias. You will remain available. Of course, he said, heart pounding. As the silence settled again, Elias realized something important. He had not repaired the armor. He had revealed something far more dangerous. And neither of them understood it yet. The medical chamber was quiet, filled with soft white light and slow-moving screens. Elias sat on a low bench near the wall, his hands resting on his knees. He felt out of place, like a tool left in the wrong room. Across from him, Valeth stood still inside a circular scan field. Thin lines of light moved over her armor and skin, reading data Elias could not understand. 2 alien medical officers watched the screens closely. Their faces showed calm focus, but their eyes moved faster than usual. Human Elias, one of them said without looking away from the display. You will answer questions. Elias nodded. Of course. Valeth remained silent, her posture straight, her expression controlled. Only Elias noticed the slight tension in her shoulders. Describe exactly what you did, the medic said. I touched the armor, Elias replied. Light pressure, bare hand. Why bare? The medic asked. I wasn't told to use gloves, Elias said, and for fine adjustments, skin gives better control. The medic paused. Your species uses skin contact for mechanical precision? Yes, Elias said. And for communication. Comfort. Trust. That made the other medic glance up. Continue, the first said. When I touched the armor, Elias went on, Officer Valeth reacted physically. I stopped immediately. The screens flickered with new data. Valeth finally spoke. The reaction was not pain. The medics turned toward her. It was internal, she said carefully. Neurological. Emotional. The room fell silent. Emotional? One medic repeated. Valith did not answer right away. She seemed to choose her words with care. It bypassed suppression pathways. The medics exchanged looks. That should not be possible, one said. Elias shifted slightly. I really didn't mean to cause trouble. Valith looked at him then. Her expression was softer than before, less guarded. You did not, she said. This is a discovery. The medics continued scanning. Data flowed across the screens faster now. Officer, one medic said slowly, your armor did not malfunction. Valith frowned. Explain. The system responded correctly, the medic said, to an unexpected input. Both medics turned toward Elias. Human biosignals, the other said. Specifically tactile patterns. Elias blinked. You mean touch? Yes. Valith's fingers curled slightly. Human touch interacted directly with my nervous system. That is our conclusion, the medic said. Elias let out a slow breath. So I didn't break anything? No, Valith said. You revealed something. Later, after the medics left, the chamber felt too quiet. Elias stood near the doorway, unsure if he was allowed to leave. Valith dismissed the scan field and stepped down from the platform. She removed part of her armor and placed it carefully on a stand. You are uncomfortable, she said. Elias nodded honestly. A little.
I don't like causing problems, she considered this. That response is...
Human. I guess so. Valith moved closer, but not too close.
She kept a respectful distance. My species evolved to limit emotional interference, she said. Efficiency. Stability. Humans didn't, Elias replied. We're kind of the opposite. She studied his face. Your emotions do not weaken you. No, Elias said. They slow us down sometimes, but they also help us connect. Valith was silent for a long moment. The medics will report this, she said, quietly. Elias nodded. What does that mean for me? That remains unclear, she replied. You are not in trouble. That's good. She hesitated, then added, I have requested that you remain assigned to my armor maintenance. Elias looked surprised. After what happened? Because of what happened, she corrected. They returned to the armor chamber later that cycle. This time, Valith removed more of her armor before Elias arrived. The chest frame rested on the stand, its lights dim but steady. I will observe, she said. You will adjust, Elias swallowed. Do you want me to touch it again? Yes, she said calmly, but slowly. He stepped forward, heart beating faster than he liked. He placed one hand near the armor, stopping just short of contact. Tell me if I should stop, he said.
I will, Valith replied. He touched the armor.
The lights responded instantly, glowing warmer, smoother than before. Elias focused on the alignment, making careful adjustments. Behind him, Valith stood very still. Her breathing changed again, but this time she did not pull away. Instead, she closed her eyes, letting the sensation pass through her without resistance. It feels clear, she said quietly. Elias did not look back. Clear? Yes, she said, like noise becoming signal. He adjusted one final plate and stepped away. The light settled into a stable pattern. It's done, he said. Valith opened her eyes. Something in her expression had shifted. Not loss of control, but understanding. You did not overwhelm my system, she said. You aligned it. Elias smiled faintly. That's my job. Word spread slowly. Not publicly, not officially. But among engineers, medics, and a few officers, whispers moved through the ship. Humans were different, not aggressive, not dominant, influential. Violeth was summoned before a small advisory group days later. Elias was not present, but his absence was felt. "They affect you," one advisor said. "They interact with us," Valeth replied. "There is a difference. This could destabilize our culture," another warned.
"Or evolve it," Valeth said.
When she returned to the armor chamber afterward, Elias was waiting. "You were gone a while," he said. "Yes," she replied. "There were discussions." He did not ask more. She appreciated that. As he prepared his tools, Violeth spoke again. "Human Elias." "Yes?" "When you touch the armor," she said, "you also touch me." Elias paused.
"I know. And you are careful."
"Always," he said. She nodded once. That, Elias realized, was trust, and for the first time, Valeth wondered what her people might become if they stopped fearing such things. The ship had not changed. Its halls were still quiet. Its lights still soft and controlled. Orders still moved through calm voices and clean systems. But the people inside it had changed. They just had not admitted it yet. Elias noticed it first in small ways. Engineers paused when he walked past. Medics watched his hands when he adjusted panels. A few officers stood a little straighter as if unsure how close was too close. No one treated him badly. That almost made it worse. Valeth noticed it too. When she entered command spaces, conversation slowed. When she gave orders, officers obeyed, but then exchanged looks once her back was turned. She understood those looks. They were the looks of uncertainty. She stood alone in the observation chamber, looking out at the stars. The armor rested behind her on its stand, quiet and stable. It had never worked better.
"You are avoiding them?"
Elias said gently from the doorway. Valeth did not turn. "I am observing." "From far away," he replied. She sighed softly. "That is how my people handle disruption." Elias stepped closer, but did not touch anything. He had learned to wait. "You didn't do anything wrong," he said. "I know," Valeth replied.
"That is the problem."
She turned to face him. "Our culture values control," she said. "Predictability, emotional distance." Elias nodded. "Humans aren't great at that." "That is becoming clear," she said. "Your presence introduces variables we do not fully understand." He gave a small smile. "We do that." Valeth's expression softened, then tightened again.
"There are those who believe humans should be restricted," she said. "Limited to technical roles,
minimal contact." Elias frowned. "Because of me? Because of what you represent," she corrected. "Unfiltered connection." He thought about that. "Connection doesn't have to be dangerous. For us," she said quietly, "it always has been." Later that cycle, Valeth stood before the advisory council. The chamber was circular, cold, and precise. 6 senior figures watched her from raised platforms. "You have changed," one of them said. Valeth did not deny it. "I have adapted. The human has influenced you." Another said.
"He has interacted with me," Valeth replied, "as he would any being. That interaction bypassed emotional regulation," a third said.
"That is unacceptable." Bailey's voice remained calm. "It revealed regulation that no longer serves us."
A murmur moved through the chamber. "You argue for emotional exposure," the first advisor said. "That path leads to instability." Valeth lifted her chin. "Or growth. You risk weakening our command structure," another warned. Valeth met their gaze without flinching.
I risk honesty.
Silence followed. Finally, the central advisor spoke. We will observe, for now. Valeth left the chamber with steady steps, though her thoughts were heavy. When she returned to the armor chamber, Elias was already there, tools arranged neatly, waiting. You're early, she said. I was told to wait, he replied. So I did. She nodded. You may begin. This time, she removed her gloves. Elias noticed, but did not comment. He worked carefully, making small adjustments. The armor lights responded smoothly, almost eagerly. Valeth closed her eyes. The sensation was no longer overwhelming. It was grounding, like standing still after a long journey. Does it still trouble you? Elias asked quietly. No, she said. It reminds me I am here, he smiled. That's kind of nice. She opened her eyes. You say that easily. Humans like being reminded we're alive, he said. She studied him, then said, Even when it hurts? Especially then, he replied. Days passed. The whispers grew louder. Some crew members requested human technicians. Others avoided them completely. A few tried human gestures, awkward smiles, uncertain hand movements. Most failed. Elias found it quietly funny. Valeth found it quietly terrifying. One evening, she stood alone in her quarters, armor set aside. For the first time in her life, she felt unsure of who she was without it. There was a soft chime. Enter, she said. Elias stepped inside, stopping politely near the door.
You requested my presence, he said.
Yes, Valeth replied. I need perspective. She gestured to the armor pieces, laid out carefully on a low surface. This has always defined me, she said. Now I am not sure if it protects me or hides me. Elias took a slow breath. Armor can do both. She looked at him. Why do humans remove it? He thought for a moment. Because we trust someone enough to be seen. Bayleaf looked down at her hands. Bare, unarmored. That is dangerous, she said. Yes, Elias agreed. But it's also freeing. She was silent for a long time. Sit, she said. He did, keeping respectful distance. My people believe emotions cloud judgment, she said. But since meeting you, my judgment has become clearer.
That doesn't sound bad, Elias said.
No, she replied. It sounds different. The next day, the advisory council delivered their decision. Valeth was offered advancement, a higher command position, greater authority, with one condition. Human influence must be reduced. Elias was informed separately. He stood in the corridor outside the armor chamber, hands clenched at his sides. So that's it, he said. I'll be reassigned. Valeth did not answer immediately. You will leave this sector. Elias nodded slowly. I understand. He meant it. She stepped closer. I did not agree, she said quietly. He looked up, surprised. I have not refused, she continued, but I have not accepted. Valeth, Elias said carefully, I don't want to cause problems for you. She met his gaze. You did not cause this. She reached toward the armor, then stopped. For the first time, she did not put it on. I must decide who I am, she said. Not who they expect. Elias swallowed. Whatever you choose, I'm glad I helped. She looked at him, really looked at him. You did more than help, she said. The ship continued its journey. Orders were followed. Systems ran clean. But something irreversible had begun. A culture that had feared feeling had finally felt, and it could not unlearn it. The ship moved silently through space, steady and unchanged. Inside, nothing felt steady at all. Elias stood in his small quarters, a single travel case open on the bed. He folded his clothes slowly, carefully, as if speed might make leaving feel real. He had been reassigned, not punished, not blamed, just moved away. That, somehow, hurt more. He paused, looking at his hands, ordinary hands, warm, human, the same hands that had changed things he never meant to touch. There was a soft chime at the door.
"Enter,"
he said. Valeth stepped inside. She was not wearing her armor. Elias froze. He had never seen her like this, not fully. Without the structured plates, without the glow and weight that defined her role, she looked lighter, more real. "I was told you would depart this cycle," she said.
"Yes," Elias replied quietly. "Transport docks in 1 unit." She nodded. "You packed already."
"Habit," he said. Silence filled the room. Then Valeth did something no one expected. She bowed her head, not deeply, not formally, but sincerely. "You gave us something," she said, without asking for anything in return. Elias shook his head. "I just did my job." "No," she said. "Bah."
You did what we forgot how to do.
He looked at her, confused.
You reminded us how it feels to be present.
She continued. To be affected, to connect. She took a small step closer. "My people believed strength meant distance," she said. "You showed us strength can also mean closeness." Elias swallowed. "I never meant to change your culture. That is what makes it human," she replied. A tone sounded softly from Valeth's wrist device. She glanced at it, then back at Elias. "The council has convened," she said, "for my final answer." Elias straightened. "Then I should—" "Come with me," she said. He hesitated. "Am I allowed?" She met his eyes. "I will allow it." The council chamber was full. Advisors, commanders, observers. They all turned when Valeth entered. Their gaze shifted again. When they saw Elias beside her, murmurs moved through the room. Valeth stepped forward alone. "You were offered advancement," the central advisor said. "Have you decided?" "I have," Valeth replied.
"You must understand the conditions,"
another said. "Human proximity must be reduced. Emotional interference minimized." Valeth lifted her chin.
"I reject the condition," she said. Silence fell like a held breath.
You would refuse promotion? One advisor asked. Yes, Valeth said calmly.
"If it requires us to remain incomplete." "Incomplete?" another repeated sharply. "We suppressed a part of ourselves out of fear," Valeth said. "Humans did not conquer us. They did not overpower us." She turned slightly, gesturing toward Elias without pointing. "They simply existed as they are." She faced the council again, and in doing so, they revealed what we lost. "You risk disorder," the central advisor warned. Valeth's voice stayed steady. "We risk growth." The room was quiet for a long time. Finally, the central advisor spoke again. "You would change tradition?" "Yes," Valeth said. "You would allow vulnerability." "Yes." "You would stand unarmored," the advisor said slowly, "before others." Valeth did not hesitate. "Yes?" She reached up, slowly, deliberately, and removed the final piece of her armor. Gasps spread through the chamber. No alarm sounded, no chaos followed. Valeth stood tall, unshielded, calm. "I am not weaker," she said. "I am aware." The council did not answer right away. But something had already changed. The decision came hours later. Humans would not be restricted. Joint cooperation would continue. Emotional response would be studied. not suppressed. Valith retained her position. No promotion. No punishment. But something far more important. Choice. When Elias boarded the transport, he believed he was leaving quietly. He was wrong. Several crew members stood nearby. Engineers, medics, even a few officers. They did not salute. They did something else. They placed one hand over their chest, a gesture they had learned from watching humans. Elias smiled, surprised. Valith stood at the edge of the dock. She wore her armor again, but lighter now. Modified, flexible. As Elias turned to leave, she spoke. Human, Elias. He stopped. You will be remembered, she said. Not as a tool, not as an anomaly, but as a point of contact. He smiled softly. I like that. She hesitated, then stepped forward. Just close enough. She did not touch him. But she did not step away either. Wherever humans go, she said, you leave marks, not scars. Good, Elias said. We're not big on scars. The transport doors closed. As the ship moved away, Valith looked down at her hands. Steady, warm, unhidden. Across the galaxy, reports would later describe humanity as many things. Creative, chaotic, emotional. But the aliens who truly knew them used only one word. Humanity does not force change. It invites it. And once invited, nothing stays the same.